God, you shouldn't be sneaking in like that, guys. You should at least knock before you come into the shed. Well, while you're here in the shed, you can see what I'm up to. I'm tidying up the bench because I don't want to end up with a bench like those who should not be mentioned. Everyday Solars and Ian Matthews. So people I won't mention. Don't end up like a bench like theirs. So I'm trying to stay on top of it, tidy up as I go, put the tools away, and we'll be getting ready for our next video and live and stuff like that. So tidy up as I go. So just put the stuff away I was using and keep the bench looking half decent. Well, that won't go up there for me, so that's not going to work. But anyhow, keep the bench half decent. So, I presume you're here for a video. Well, the video is not me tidying up my bench, because we've done that before, and at some stage we'll probably redo it again because the bench will get into a state at some stage. But no, today's video is you're going to be joining future me in a few minutes. I'll be out there. I'm going to be working on these gold pins and stuff like that. So anyone that does e-waste will know there's pins and all different pins, and when I'm doing them, and there's connectors and stuff like that. You have these gold connectors. So they just gather up. You're there and you're doing something, you're scrapping it out, and you pull a few pins, you put them into a tub, then you put that tub away, and then you start a new tub because you didn't realize you're already working on a tub, and eventually you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 tubs of bits of pins, all mixed pins, some magnetic, some not magnetic. Do I separate them? No, I don't bother, to be honest with you. I probably will if I had to buy more nitric acid, but at the moment I have nitric acid, and that'll deal with the magnetic and the non-magnetic on them. The only thing is, it's costly if you didn't get it at a good price. I got mine at a good price. Next lot I won't be able to get any, so I'm going to have to start making my own nitric at some stage. But yeah, so I'm going to start trying to get these pins done before winter sets in, because we're into September now, and here in Ireland winter sets in quick, as in when I say it's not going to be snow or stuff like that, but it's just going to be constant rain, even though it didn't stop raining this year anyhow. But I digress. So I'm going to be working on these pins, and I'm going to just try and get as much of them done as I can before the winter sets in, and just release the gold flakes. I'm not actually going to process them any further than getting the gold plating off the pins. Some of them have very light plating, some will have thicker plating, so it's not like I'm going to be going all the way through this process, because what I want to do is try and build up a lot of gold plated flakes from, we'd say, whether it's RAM or whether it's off these, whether it's off the let me grab one, whether it's off the mobile phone board, stuff like that. So I want to gather up a good bunch of the gold plating and do it a bunch in one go. So usually I'd maybe do a little bit at a time, and I might get half a gram up to maybe 2 grams sometimes, whatever. But this time I want to try and gather up as much of this gold from these plated items and the RAM and the PC boards, or even these TV board stuff, the gold off them. I want to get as much as I can of that, so when I process this, we might end up with a lot of gold in one drop instead of half a grams and 1/10 of a gram or whatever. So that's the plan. So let's go out and join future me, and we'll see how we'll start the process and see what we end up doing in the end here. So as always, if you haven't hit the like, please do, and I'm going to carry on clearing this mess away and see you outside. Right guys, so future me here. So here I am, and as you can see already, I have some nitric. It's a blue colour, so this means I've used this nitric before, but I still think there's more nitric to be used in it, and as you can see there is. So I just dropped something in there just to make sure the temperature was okay on the nitric. We were starting to get a reaction before I start going, and save us waiting ages for a reaction. So I've got that there. We have our nitric on the heat, and we've got a reaction on the little bit I put in already. So I'm going to start adding some more. So I'm going to start with these. So you can see in there, there's all different types of pins in there. Nice goldy colour on them, but we're just going to add a small amount at a time because we don't want it to cause a boil over. So we'll just add them, see what reaction we're starting to get. So at the moment there's not much of a reaction, but we'll leave it a few minutes before we add any more to it. What I'll do is I'll actually add this longer piece, so that might give us a little bit more of a reaction. So you see there where it landed. I'll just recover this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there until we start getting a reaction on it. This is, as I say, nitric I've been using. I think this may be some of the nitric that was left over from doing the washing of the incinerated chips, where I was washing the dust from them to get rid of any silver or any metals that were still left in there, copper and stuff like that. So I know there's still some nitric that hasn't been used up, so rather than waste nitric, because we know it's expensive, I'll use it for working on these pins, because as I say, some of these are fairly low grade pins and stuff like that. So you can see in there now, if I can zoom you in a bit, you can see we are getting a reaction. You can see bits of stuff floating off, so that's little bits of gold hopefully being released from it, and you can see stuff just moving around in there on it. So good reaction here on the front, on this one here, and you can see little bits coming off it. So again, some of that will be minute bits of gold being released from the actual plating, and we're letting it into solution. So we are getting a reaction there now, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to keep, I'll add a few more. I still don't want to cause a boil over. Now I can see flakes on the top, which I'll show you in a minute, but I'm just going to add some more. I think we have enough added there for the moment. And cover that, and I'll just give a small little bit more heat. So yeah, that's going to just work away nicely for itself. So what we'll do is we'll change the camera angle in a second so you can see into the top. I actually can bring you up and you can see what's happening up here. As you can see, we're getting, let me zoom back out a bit. So we're getting that sort of, well, we're getting condensation building up, but we are getting a brownish colour in there. So that's the nitric gases building up, oxides building up in there. So again, at the moment they're covered, so they're not escaping. But make sure you've got your safety gear, and I'll be putting on my mask now for the further stages. So again, I'm just going to keep adding these pins to it, and until I've this one done, until these are all dissolved, we've got the gold, and then I'll add more and more, and I'm going to keep adding until I saturate that solution in there, and all we have then left is nitric acid full of copper and other metals, maybe silvers and stuff like that, and then I'll put that into my stock pot to be dealt with at a later date. But that's the plan, is to keep doing that. So I'll give you a look in the top. So I'm going to have to stop you there for a moment and get the camera to a different angle. Okay, so this is the top. So as you can see in there now, you can see gold floating around. So we have released some gold into the top. Sorry, my glove is covering there. No, we've got little bits now. There's some gold over there which isn't released, hasn't even sunk under yet. But we have some little bits of gold floating around in there. So I'm going to let that carry on, and you can come back in a while and we'll see what progress has been made. I'm just going to keep adding pins, and hopefully we'll have a good layer of gold at the top there at some stage. Okay guys, so it's been running for about 10 minutes, I'd say, maybe less. And you can see here, if I zoom in, you can see all the gold being released and coming to the top. So we have a very, very vigorous reaction at the moment. I'm hoping for no boil over, but we have a vigorous reaction in there. I may pour some of the solution off so that there's less chance of a boil over, but you can see the orange building up in there now. So that's your deadly fumes which can kill you. So as I say, be careful when you're messing with this. I'm outside, I have that covered at the moment, so there's not, as you can see, there's no orange coming out. I'll release that, I'll put the mask on, I'll release that out and then it'll build up again, and I'll do that every so often. But I want to maybe pour off some of that liquid, and so that I don't get a boil over. But anyhow, I said I'll give you a little quick there. That's how we're progressing so far. So I'll let that run for a few hours now. I'll keep adding pins and stuff like that, and we'll see what we end up with. Okay guys, so 30 minutes have gone by since the last little update in the video. So what I've done is I divided into another container here, and I've put all the pins I had in that little tub are all now between the two containers. And as you can see, we have a reaction in both. This one is on heat, this one is not on heat, but we're still getting a good reaction because when I poured off some of the solution, because it was hot, it has been working on these pins in here. So again, you can see there's some fumes there, so I'm going to step back now and I'm going to get my mask if I'm going to carry on working there. And but I might just let it run away for the moment for another half an hour, maybe to an hour, and we'll see what it is. And again, this area, work area out here, needs it very, very, so you can see them containers down there. People who ask me what do I do with my waste solution, well, they're in them containers, and then I have a bigger barrel that they go into when I deal with the big barrel. So at the moment it's been stored in them containers to be dealt with later. What's in that container down there is some acid that still isn't fully saturated, so that will be used in the future for low grade stuff. But here at the moment you can see we have a reaction in both, so let them work away and I'll step away from it. Right guys, so I've let it run for a few hours, well not a few hours, I'd say an hour and a half, and I've decided to cool off one of them, so this one, the larger one, and put the other one back on heat over here for a while. So I've it there on heat at the moment, and I've decided to filter it and just see how our progress was getting. So as you can see, there is a lot of gold flakes floating around on it, so it's not that hot anymore, it's cooled down. So I'm just going to filter it off and see what is in the... So again, this nitric I will save because it's still not fully used up, I'm presuming. We'll know in a minute when we see to the bottom of the pins. So let's just let that drain. You can see little bits of gold floating on top here. Now again, this is going to be little bits of other plastic and stuff like that in it, but I'm not too bothered because it'll be put in with other stuff that's going to be rewashed in maybe nitric acid or something like that, just to get rid of any more of the impurities, and then into aqua. So I'm not too bothered. It'll be a dirty drops of course, but we'll eventually get it down to a pure form. But it's all about processing some of the gold material that I've lying around for a while and haven't got around to. So before the winter sets in, we'll try and get as much of it processed as possible. So that's just draining away. So once that's filtered off, we'll come back and we'll have a look into the filter and see what we've got. We'll have a look at what's left in the actual liquid, and then I'll start adding more pins again and carry this on for another while and try and get through as much of the pins as I possibly can while the weather stays good. Now it's not meant to stay good for much longer, so it's kind of get what I can done before the winter sets in. So come back once we filter this. Right guys, so the filtering is still taking place, but I just wanted to show you what I'm dealing with here in Ireland. So I said a few minutes ago I started doing the filtering, and I said I want to try and get as much gold recovery done before the rain starts to come. And what do we have? We have the rain has started, as you can see. So that's really going to curtail how much I can get done in this video. So we'll filter what I've done so far, we'll have a look at what we've got, and I'll let this one carry on for another while before the rain comes too heavy. But I probably won't get all the pins I want to get done right now in this video done. So this is what you deal with in Ireland if you're working outdoors on gold recovery. You're restrained to the weather, so I really do need to get my first shed cleared out, the concrete shed, not the timber one, the concrete shed, so I can kind of get a fume hood put into it and get that sorted so I can actually work away inside. which is the plan going forward. But anyhow, we'll come back once the filtering, but I just wanted to show you, so if I have to cut the video short, you'll understand why. But the plan, as I said, is to try and get all them gold pins the gold released from them over the winter. So when you come next spring and summer, we'll be working on more gold recovery videos, and you'll know where the gold came from. The gold I'll be working on will more than likely have come from these gold pins that are working away in there. So let's see how we got on with the filtering anyhow. Okay, so I have filtered out them foils and stuff like that, and I just want to show you what I got, because there is a few little issues, but wouldn't be gold recovery without some issues, would it? So we have, as you can see in there, we've like, you can see the gold and a few little bits and pieces that came off, and there's other little dust of some sort, but I'm not sure what that dust is, to be honest with you, but I've got that a few times now. But you can see there's little bits of plastic and stuff like that came off. Some of that gold plated stuff, there was still little bits of plastic and stuff like that, so we've got that. And then in here we have this black stuff, and again, I don't know, it's very hard to focus, make it focus. Let me zoom back out a bit, zoom back out, and then back in. But there is some gold in there, but you can't really see it. It's kind of caught on the whatever that material is. It's very hard for you to see it, but yeah, you can see some little flickers of gold in there. So there is some there as well. Again, I'm hoping that when we get this into the Acarija, you can see some gold down there now on that, but again, the focus is gone. So I'm hoping that when we get to the Acarija stage of it, we'll be able to recover the gold that's in there. And this is the type of material, because I've left some still in here so you can see it. So you can see there, the gold flakes are in there, but it's on some sort of powder. And if I knock that powder out into here, you can actually, and again, I always hold on to these filters, because there'll always be a little bit of gold left in there. But you can see this white powder and black powder is mixed in with the gold, and I don't know what's causing that. I don't know why, and maybe someone out there may have an answer. It could be because I don't bother separating the pins from magnetic and non-magnetic, and there could be bits of zinc and there could be bits of other stuff that's causing this. Bits of plastic, when it gets heated up in the nitric reaction, could be causing it. So you can see I swept off there as best I can. I don't think there's any gold bits left, but there may be. But in here you can see the gold flakes in there. And again, I'll just add them into this container, and at some stage we'll get these into Acarija, because I still have more pins that I need to do. So we'll get them all into Acarija, and I don't think it's going to make much of a difference if there's little bits and pieces in there. We'll crush that down a bit more, just to make sure that the acid Acarija will get to any of the gold that's trapped in there. But you can see it in that powder. If I can get it to zoom a bit and hopefully focus, there we go. So you can see the gold in there. It's trapped in there. Well, not trapped, but it's in there. Whatever that powder is, it's caught in it. But once we get into Acarija, the Acarija should be able to dissolve the gold and things. So again, it was like bits and pieces like this is where we're getting it from. And if you look, sometimes there'll be little bits of wire in there, little bits of plastic. Yeah, again, so it could be solder causing it. There could be a little bit of silver, stuff like that. Could be any of them sort of things that are causing it. So these are just, as I hadn't everything done, I'll keep doing them bit by bit. So again, some plastic on there, try and rub it off, but in the center there we'll have some white plastic. And so when it starts to heat up in the reaction, it could be because of that that's causing it. So when it's taken off the gold and the plastic. Maybe I should clean them a bit more. What do you think, guys? But yeah, so that's it for this video. So again, just remove the gold from the gold plated pins and stuff like that. So it was like, there was some pins, like I still have some here. Let me grab something. As I said, I haven't done everything yet, and so again, it was stuff like this as well. And you can see there's bits of plastic still on there. You'll have them little rings in there in the center. They get released as it's starting to dissolve the gold plating from it. So that's what I was working on this video. So thanks as always for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the everyone that comments, everyone that likes the videos, everyone that shares the videos, and everyone that watches the videos. It means a lot. So till the next video, stay safe, keep on looking for that gold. And have you come across this problem when you've been working with your gold plated pins and stuff like that? So that's what's my issue at the moment, but we'll get by that. It's not a major thing. Had this issue before and I still managed to get the gold at the end. So as always, thumbs up if you don't mind, and catch you on the next one. Stay safe.